This is the Momentum Movement podcast. So I'm Mark, I'm a senior engineer and director by day, building a life and a business around my family, not instead of it. Now, most people think that you have to choose between ambition or presence. You have to choose between the 9 to 5 or a side business. You have to choose between being there for your kids or building something that matters. I do not buy that at all. I believe you can be highly ambitious, driven, and still maintain presence for the things that are the most important to you. And that's absolutely the whole premise of this show. Every episode I'm aiming to sit down with someone building something real on the side, all while staying present for the people who matter the most to them. This isn't going to be any gurus, it's not going to be a total highlight reel, it's a warts and all discussion. Just the fundamental mechanics of how it all gets done in and around the edges. So, if you're a driven dad, a driven parent, trying to build momentum without losing what's in front of you, you're absolutely in the right place. Now, let's get stuck into it. Now then, welcome to the Momentum Movement podcast episode 2. Got my good friend Josh Lindsey on for this episode, and just to give everyone a little bit of context around why Josh is here. So I was a coachee of Josh's at the start of this year, and recently over the last few weeks we hosted the Great Millennial Build. As a host, hosting an event, sometimes you don't get enough airtime. So what I thought I would do is, after that event, I reached out to Josh and I just said, Josh, we really feel like you didn't get enough airtime to tell your story. So fundamentally what I want to get into over the next 30 minutes is just unpeel that onion a little bit, get to know you a little bit. So I guess without further ado, Josh, it would be good for you to give a bit of an overview, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you found yourself here.
Thanks so much, Mark. Thanks so much. And very kind of you to think of me about after the Great Millennial Build. I mean, that was such a cool event. We had like 30 people in a room talking about creators and making money online, and really people at all different stages of the making money online journey, from the shall I quit my job stage, which is what I'm particularly interested in, to the okay, this is actually working and I can expand this stage. I think, as you say, when you're the host, I kind of wanted to give everybody plenty of space and opportunity to talk. So it was a great event, and it's really nice to be able to do this as a follow-up. Where do you want to start? What do you want to know about me?
A little bit about you, like what's and all, like family, work, where do you live? What do you do?
15 years ago, let's start then. 15 years in corporate communications, marketing, strategic communications. I worked broadly in the public sector, in and around politics in London. And something weird kept happening to me. I kept burning out, and I kept blaming myself and thinking, I just need to work a bit harder. I just need to do things slightly differently. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. And in the end, I realized that, no, it wasn't that. It was the work. It was the corporate structures and the political structures and all of the stuff that goes along with that, which wasn't serving me anymore. So about a year ago, March 26th, 2025, I burnt out for the third time. Now, I call it a burnout, but really I think it was a bit of a realignment. It was a bit of my nervous system saying, this isn't working anymore. So I took 6 weeks off.
Are we all right to delve into that a little bit? So corporate slog, feelings of overwhelm, like what was that defining moment that kind of when I recognize here, enough is enough?
Yeah, good question. So I think that really what it was, and I've sort of identified, being a bit of an expert on this now, 2 different types of burnout. There's the burnout where you're working really hard and you're doing too much. And then there's the burnout where you're actually maybe not working that hard. And it's not because you're not good at your job, but the job just no longer serves you anymore. So I think I was there thinking, how can I advance? What's the next step look like? Do I want to get a senior leadership position? Do I want to take on more responsibility? And I think my body was saying, not really. You've got 2 kids. I just found out my wife was pregnant with our daughter. So we were about to have our second kid, and I was thinking I want to spend more time at home, more time with them, more time working with nice people who I enjoy working with, rather than colleagues who are, colleagues aren't a family. They're forced upon you sometimes. So it was, I think it was really a bit of a realignment process. And I spent 6 weeks in gardening, going to the gym, relaxing and working out what it was that I wanted to do. And I went back to the thing that I'd enjoyed when I was a kid, which was mucking about with technology, mucking about with the internet, mucking about posting things online. And like, I'm an old school WordPress guy. Like 15 years ago, I was running the student newspaper tech section in Birmingham and posting things on the WordPress website. And I kind of went back to that, really. So it's a bit of a coming home.
Stuff that you kind of forget about because you are busy in the 9 to 5. Actually, you forget to do the fun stuff that you used to enjoy.
Well, then you don't realise that there's so much opportunity out there. So one of the things that happens, I think, when you're in the 9 to 5 is you go on your commute, you go to the office, you start to think, right, your world starts to get smaller. And you start to think this is it. There isn't anything beyond this. So I was thinking about this yesterday. If you're stuck in a 9 to 5, the best advice I would give to myself a year ago is talk to like 5 to 10 people who are completely outside of your career, outside of your area, like creatives, fitness people, tech people, because when you start having conversations with people who aren't in your sort of zone of influence,
it opens your perspective big time, doesn't it?
It really does, yeah.
I just want to probably delve into a little bit then. There was a poignant point you made around you can work hard, you can push yourself. I can tell from working with you for the past number of months that you're not shy of hard work, as they call it. Like, for me, that's a physical element of you put in the hard yards, you do a good job. It wasn't that element that actually made you burn out. The burnout was being in the wrong space, focusing on the wrong things. It's almost that emotional strain of burnout.
It is. And I'm going to use a bit of a woo-woo word right now, but hear me out. There's a book, I love it. It's called Bullshit Jobs by David Graeber. And in that, he's like an Imperial College professor, or was, rest in peace. And he uses the term spiritual wound, right? And spiritual wound sounds woo-woo. Let me explain. What he means by that is you're going to do something every day which doesn't feel like it adds anything to particularly your personal life, but also the wider society. And I genuinely think that like one of the best things about starting a business is you are serving people directly. Like everything you're doing is serving people. If I'm out chasing clients, I'm serving my family. If I'm out helping clients, I'm serving them directly. It's kind of the purest form of work.
And it's almost like you're angling yourself to be in the environment where you're adding more value and doing the things that you like to do. Your angle was escape the corporate, start up your own business. I've got personal experience of pivoting within corporate, if we want to use that word, where actually you recognize you're not in your right environment, you recognize you're not doing the most meaningful work, pivot to another role, pivot to something different. So I moved from engineering to R&D, and it was a proper eye-opener. Like you, go and find out and talk to other people doing other things, what interests you. Have a play around, have a mess about, do something different.
Yeah. I did strategic communications, which is quite you're thinking about, okay, what's this person going to do and say, and what are their priorities, and how do we align as an organization with them? And then I moved into HR and transformation and organizational restructures.
Change management.
And actually, to be fair, I had quite a good time there. And I learned a lot, and project management stuff and all the people stuff, and mixing the systems with the people, and how you manage all of that stuff inside a massive organization. But I think for me, as probably fundamentally quite a creative person, having to do the bureaucracy and the people stuff, like just getting anything done feels like you're walking through treacle.
Yeah, there's no entrepreneurial spirit around trying to push something through a governance forum, getting it signed off, then going to regional. It's like, you just want to get.
Tell me it's different in the private sector. Tell me it's different in the private sector, because I know you and I we work for similar corporate kind of organizations, but I was more regulated and you were more private, right?
Yeah, I was more private, and actually since 2009, whatever, how many years is that? 17 years. I've pivoted my career to more family-led startup business, private. So big conglomerates, FMCGs, but moving then towards more family-based. And actually in 2020, I basically started as an head of engineering for a manufacturer who was a startup business, and that was unbelievable. That was like, I was like a kid in a sweet shop, like you said, because you can just crack on with stuff. You can deliver stuff at pace. You can have an idea. You can execute it. There's no red tape. And it was like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah.
It lights the fire. People think doing hard work like drains you, but doing hard, meaningful work, for me, lights the fire in your belly.
If you can see the results quickly.
Yeah,
it really and you said something which I think is quite interesting, which is, you said, Josh, you're not afraid of hard work, and that is true, right? But I have worked harder in the last year than I have probably in the last 5 years of my career, easily, because I'm doing it for myself. I'm doing it for my family. And also, let's not like sugarcoat this. Starting a business is hard. You do not know.
Reps means output.
It does, but you do at the start. You do not know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a bit of a Dunning-Kruger effect, right? So a business is, okay, I want to be here in 5 years. Where do I want to be in 1 year, and how do I start doing the weekly stuff? And I know you are incredible at this. You're incredible at taking a massive goal and then breaking it down into like almost daily activities, which, we all need to constantly get better at that, myself.
Yeah, but the phase you are in is almost that you are, let's treat it as a startup business. The time frame that you look at needs to be more short term. It needs to be, in this quarter, what are the 3 things I'm going to do to drive the biggest needle in my business?
Yeah, revenue.
And it's like three month, right? Next 3 months, reset, re-go again. But the more mature you get, the longer time horizon you can look at.
Yeah.
So
very good point. Yeah.
So you left corporate. You started up your own business. When did you do that?
April the 18th. So it's been about 2 months now.
Nice. What's been the biggest lesson and challenge you've faced across that time? You're only allowed to pick one. The one that.
Oh no, I was going to say, I did a big post about this. So go and look at my Threads account. 17 brutal lessons that I learned in the last 6 months, in the last 2 months of running my own business. I'm going to pick one. You have to. I'm going to cheat slightly. A business is 20% systems, 30% client delivery, and 500% marketing. So the biggest lesson is you are going to have to do way more marketing than you expect. And, that is because the internet has a short time preference, and we're all forgetful, and we're all on the dopamine highway. So learning those skills.
Even someone as a marketer and a communications expert, that was an eye-opener for you as well.
Yes. Yeah. Because I've worked in corporate communications, right? Which is like, you're doing press releases and newsletters and brand meetings and all that sort of stuff. But it's on a it's project managed and it's on a system. And as you say, you're going to the regional governance forum and all that sort of stuff. When you're running your own thing, it's like, we need to get clients now. Okay, how are we going to get clients now? Well, we're going to make sure we're doing broadcast emails, make sure we're doing can I swear on your podcast?
Swear massively.
Make sure you're doing a shit ton of videos. Like, I'm learning short form video at a rate of knots, loving that journey. You're going to have to keep all of the other things spinning as well. So, I kind of used Threads as the smallest possible thing that I could do whilst I was still employed, because I knew I probably had 10 minutes to an hour a day to actually build my own personal brand, build my reputation. So I started posting like a mad thing on Threads whenever I could. But then when you're like, and I have these expanses of time in front of me, which is my own, how can I best use that time to promote myself and my business?
Nice. Let's talk a little bit about that funnel then. So I've seen you grow in that sphere where actually, when at the start of the year it was Josh Threads, the writing wizard. Now it's Josh on YouTube, Josh on Instagram, Josh on LinkedIn, outreach in cold calls, business to business connection. Tell me where, I guess, your energy is going in terms of the biggest value.
Yeah, good question. Good question. And I think, you have to, as you say, you have to weekly sort of review these things. But the priority in the last, since leaving, has been to build up a roster of clients like yourself and others who I'm working with on a regular basis. So the thing that I think people fundamentally get wrong when they start internet businesses is they think that they're going to sell a product. And the reality is that if you have a small following, which you're going to for the first at least few months, but probably years, you're going to need to sell a service. So my business has been focused on the service. The service is I help people do exactly what I've done, which is market themselves, build their personal brand, build a service, validate that service, and leave their job as a result. So I call that the 80-day exit. The funnel is, it's a bit more mature than it was at the start of the year. So at the start of the year, as you said, it was Threads, and I'll do Threads growth, and I'll help you grow on Threads. Now that is a part of it, but the whole system is you're going to pick one social media platform. We're going to focus on that one social media platform as the start. We're going to work out what your message is, and then we're going to validate your product, and then we're going to build all your systems behind it, and then we're going to scale it. Then I'll sort of send you on your way, and you can scale it from there.
So in terms
into that funnel,
in terms of all of those outreach platforms you are on now, what's the highest conversion?
Well, it's probably a combination. It's probably still mostly Threads.
Yeah.
That's the bread and butter. And that's where my audience is. The next thing I'm focused on is short form video. Now, I have tremendous fun on my walks daily, talking to the camera. I have a couple of systems which I think people might be interested in, actually, if you don't mind me just going into them. The first system is I have Claude, Fable 5, love that guy, developed a system for me to effectively, it has a first pass at my short form videos for me. So Claude and Descript, which is my video editing software, they work together, and I upload my long video at the end of the day of recording into my Google Drive, and it has a first pass at cutting that up for me.
So out of interest, then, because I've seen, in all honesty, it works magic, because I thought you were short form holding your camera portrait, but are you recording a landscape long form video?
I am holding a stick,
Right.
mostly, and recording vertical video.
Oh,
But I'll
and you record a series of topics.
Yeah. So it's the same thing I do with my clients. So step one, what's your origin story? What are the stories that you want to tell about your authority? What are your beliefs? What are your contrarian perspectives? How do we get into the heart of who you are so that you can explain that in 30 seconds?
Yeah, it sounds like you're using a very similar flow as you did for your newsletter ideas. So morning dog walk, annotate to Claude, draft a structure of a newsletter, but now what it's doing is drafting a structure of a short form.
It doesn't draft the structure. I give it the raw video, and
Nice.
it outputs. I've taken out all the ums, all the ahs, all of the repeats, and I think that this bit would look good. You know, this is 30 seconds that you could use. This is another 30 seconds that you could use. I can see that you've recorded the same thing twice here. I put them both together, that sort of thing, right?
That's
and
awesome.
then my fundamental thing is I always want to be in control of what goes out. So I really do not like it when I see quite obviously AI content. So I never want to put AI content out. I want all my content to be original. I want it to be authentically me. I want it to be raw, to be honest with you. That's quite intentional. But
you always want to do a final pass and validation.
Precisely. Yeah. Then once every 6 to 10 videos, I'll mention the fact that if you go onto my website, there's a quiz on my website. That quiz tells my customer, tells my ICP, what the next step for them is in their journey to get to roughly where we are, which is, you know, having a business and having it start to or completely replace your corporate income.
Nice.
So that quiz.
Are you seeing Instagram convert to the quiz at the moment?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. So Instagram and TikTok is where those videos go. I'm more interested in Instagram at the moment because I think it's a bigger user base, and I think it's a more user base is slightly more aligned with my ICP. But that's not to say I can't just double up and put them on TikTok as well.
Yeah, and if you're putting long form onto YouTube, just rinse repeat on there as well.
Yeah, good idea. The long form I find harder, to be honest with you. I find the short form a lot easier because it's I don't know, it's something in my brain, but I quite like to try and I suppose in communications, I've spent a career trying to distill things into the simplest possible form.
Yeah, bit of feedback on this. I don't know if this is a feedback discussion, but
here we go.
YouTube videos and length of when you're first starting out, the golden number is between I think 8 minutes to 13 minutes.
I hear what you're saying, and I don't disagree with you. I'm sure that's what the gurus say. But that YouTube video that I've done is not to grow my YouTube account.
Yeah.
It is to point people who are considering buying from me to. And to say, if you want an overview of the whole process, this is what that is.
Nice. So what does it outline, that video, just for everyone's awareness?
It's my journey from, okay, how are we going to take the skills that we've built up over a career? How are we going to get our head into the fact that we actually do have to create content? That was a challenge that I had to get over. How do we get into the mindset of, okay, there's a whole load of people out there creating really good content. My content looks shit compared, but actually that's what people want. They want the raw, they want the honest, they want the truth. So how do you get into that mindset? How do you get into the mindset of doing it consistently? Why, even if you, the worst thing that's going to happen if you start creating content is you make a load of friends, you make a load of connections, you get a better reputation. You might get a business.
That's exactly what happened to me after nearly burning out trying to be a performer on TikTok for 6 months. We chatted and uncovered my origin story, started posting authentic content and just reaching out to people and making friends. and that's when the magic happens. So maybe what we'll do is we'll drop the link to that video in the description, so people can check it out.
Yeah, good idea.
Right, bit of a pivot, less about business, more about Josh, and thinking around that shift you've made now from being a worker to a business owner. Like, what are some of the non-negotiable habits and routines with all of this now available time that you need to manage yourself? What are some of the habits and routines that keep you honest across your week?
People keep saying, I was on a new client call the other day and he was saying, oh, you must have loads of time now. I was like, oh yeah, I wish, mate. Like, you never stop thinking about the business.
No, and it's even, and that's why it's even more important that you have some way of managing that. So I'd be keen to understand how you're handling it.
How do I manage it? Okay, you know me well enough, Mark, to know that I am not someone who puts my life into spreadsheets and organizes things. Like, I am quite an emotional person, and leaning into that has been a bit of a journey, coming from the corporate world, which is quite emotionally repressed and buttoned up. So I suppose the first thing is, I've intentionally, over the last 3 months, tried not to have too much of a fixed, I have to do these things here now. I'm intentionally trying to listen to my body, and do things which keep the business going, but around that feel like the sorts of things that you can do when you run your own business. So this afternoon, I am taking the kids to Watford Shopping Centre to go and hire a suit. Actually, a kilt. Maybe I'll put some pictures on Instagram.
Put some pictures on that,
yeah. So that's a Friday afternoon, right? I have been going to the gym more because I can. I've been drinking alcohol less, eating healthier more. Having more barbecues in the sun. These things that you can do when you have headspace to actually get out of yourself and your sort of, I have to get these things done now, and I have to get on this team call, and I have to get this report in by the end of the week, because none of that stuff matters. Like,
no, you trust the corporate world. You trust in your intuition a lot more, and I think there's a lot. I could learn a lot from that, because of me, I'm very structured. I'll put something in a calendar and do it, but there's certain times when you look at that block in your calendar and know, I need to do this for 2 hours, and I just cannot be asked. Like, there's a lot to be said that goes, well, actually, I'm going to do my best work when I feel at my best.
Yeah.
That could be you wake up at 4:30. Could be you wake up at 4:30 in the height of a heat wave and go, well, it's cool now, I'm going to crack on.
I was writing emails at 11 o'clock last night because it was so hot in the day. I just felt sluggish in the day.
Yeah. And you're
it's just, I couldn't get done because it needs to get done, because I'm, got to provide for my family. But all that corporate stuff. Sorry, I do want to say this because it's important. It is important. All that corporate play acting, all that corporate politics, and we've got to get to this meeting, and this report's got to be done on time, and we've got to make sure that the senior leaders, are happy. It's all made up. Like, it's all a show. It's all a culture, and people are very good at playing that. But as soon as you see that the emperor's got no clothes, it's very hard to keep focused on the play, on the role, on the game.
Nice. So you sound very inspirational and inspired there. So you sound full of energy when you're talking about that. It's definitely light a fire in your belly. What's the key thing that's driving you right now? What's getting you out of bed in the morning? What's that one thing that you're pushing forward on?
We've talked about this a bunch, but it's getting the business to a point where there is space for a community to form. Right. So I kind of see this as a bit of a mission. I've always worked in politics, and part of when you're campaigning is you want to make it into a campaign. I prefer the word mission because I'm very much out of that world now. But the mission is 1,000 people to leave jobs that aren't serving them anymore. And that's not to say that some people don't love their job and love what they're doing and crack on, but I know that after COVID, after 2008, after wages not rising for 30 years, there is a generation of mostly millennials, mostly people our age, who are thinking there must be something else. I've done everything right. I've got the good grades. I've got the good degree. I've got the good grad job. And I still am looking at my bank account at the end of the month thinking, how am I going to pay the mortgage?
Yeah. And it's what we said. That's why we called the last event we did the Great Millennium Build. There's a whole host of people similar age to us, 35 to low 40s, that actually feel like there's something more, and actually get a lot of energy and creativity out of that.
Well, as we said at the start, like, think about what that thing is that you love doing as a kid, and work out how you can talk about that on the internet for an extended period of time, for much longer than you think is reasonable or necessary, and how you can teach it. Because I genuinely think that with the skills that we've got from careers and the interests that we had, we can build businesses which are really transformative, and not just transformative for our families, but we are all going to have to work out what the next 5 years of work look like. The next 30 years, think 2030, right? AI has completely transformed the middle class jobs. That's not to say that they're all gone, but they are completely different. It is our responsibility to work out how those things are going to work and to teach one another the skills. And the internet is the means by which we do that.
Absolutely. We're in a new revolution. I am super stoked about it, to be honest. A lot of people are sitting there like shitting their pants that the robots are going to take over. I'm like, we are at the start of an industrial revolution here. And like me being a change, like being all over change, ambitious, I'm like, let's just grow. Let's see what this new world looks like and adopt it.
Yeah, I mean, there's two things. One, and I don't want to get too conspiracy theory-y, we are being sold a bit of a narrative that this is inevitable. And it's not necessarily inevitable. Like, AI is here,
we're in control.
Yeah. We
Have
can
you,
choose.
have you read the book? Have you read the book Scary Smart by Mo Gauda?
No, but I will now. Let me write it down.
Unbelievable book.
I've read his other book.
Yeah, what's Sold for Happy? I think he had another book called Sold for Happy, which was really good.
Is he the ex-Google executive?
Yes.
Didn't he write one that came out in about 2023, right around when ChatGPT came out?
That's Scary
giving
Smart.
a name. Oh, okay.
That's
in that case, I might have read
it. Yeah, it was awesome.
Cut that bit. Yeah, I've read that. Yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah, Mo Gauda, the ex-Google executive.
Lad. So let's think around some closing wisdom. Like, you've been on one hell of a journey for the past 18 months, I would say 12, 18 months. Like, if you could leave a listener that's listening to this, who's in a similar position you were 12, 18 months ago, with some parting wisdom, what would you give them?
I think it's got to go back to start writing. Like, everything comes back to writing. And there's two different types of writing. There's writing for yourself, and then there's copywriting. And they don't have to be kind of entirely mutually exclusive. But I think start writing, start putting your ideas out there. Start being really rough and cringe and raw, because it's going to feel really scary. But the rewards at the end are so profound that for me, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, for what I've learned over the last 7 months is the more raw, unhinged you can be, the greater it is to connect with people. And it's quite uplifting, actually, because you're so far, you normally reserve yourself because you're scared of what people think, but actually leaning into that, there's so many other people that can connect with you. So start writing, not just copywriting, getting your thoughts onto paper, social media, wherever it is. get it out in the public
Yeah,
domain.
I do think social media it is for me as a mid-millennial in 1989. Don't know what that makes me. I don't think it makes me an elder millennial yet.
No, I'm 84, so we're 80s babies.
So for me, social media was always a bit of that's for TikTok dances and people. And I sort of understood the value of Twitter, but not, and LinkedIn from a professional perspective, and Instagram from an entertainment perspective. But I didn't see the whole picture of it from a business perspective. And the reality is every single business runs through social media now. And every single executive wants a personal brand. So build your
personal brand, lean into it, be yourself, get out there. Right, one final wrap up. I asked this question on the last episode. It was quite a good one. Do you have a daily mantra, a quote that you always keep coming back to that keeps you honest?
Do I have a daily mantra, a quote that keeps me honest? I think just send it. Like 80% is better than 80% is better than 100% not sent. So I've put out so much.
What was it? That wasn't more Gaudat, was it? That was 80%. That was just send it.
Just send it. I'm reading a book at the moment called Just Fucking Send It. So that could be the quote if you want.
Yeah, that's it. Just fucking send it. Get going, get cracking, do things that inspire you. Don't get caught up in doing other crap that doesn't.
Yes.
Nice. Great chatting to you, mate.
So good to meet you, mate. So good to speak to you, mate. Really fun.
Before we head off, can you let everyone know where they can find you if they want to know a little bit more?
I think come find me on Threads if you want to see my writing. That's at Joshua T. Lindsey on Threads. If you want to see my face and my tiny little dog, come and see me on Instagram. That's at Joshua T. Lindsey on Instagram.
Awesome. Been awesome chatting to you, buddy. We'll see everyone in a bit. Now that's the episode. If something in there truly hit home, if you took some golden nuggets from that episode, don't just nod and scroll past. We want people to take serious action around here. Do something with it this week. Identify one thing you can take and move forward with it. Make sure you like and subscribe and follow the show. And please send this to a dad or a driven parent who needs to hear it. This is how the momentum movement grows. So just to close things out, I'm Mark. Please keep building, staying present, and building rock solid momentum.